Here, we also had a three-price relationship. This is symmetry resistance in addition to a 50% retracement with Fib ratios. So there's some potential resistance right around this area, 3,450 and some change. Now, we never came out to this price area. Price orders just start to sell off. So let's take a quick look on the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, price is still hovering above that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. So right here, we got to be patient with this one. If you're looking to short this guy, you want to make sure it commits to the downside. Commits to the downside below that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. Let's take a quick look on the daily real quick. What do we have? I'm just going to spin through some of these other coins. Alright, Engine still trading above that 200 moving average. 𝗔𝗽𝗍𝗍 trading below. There's just a lot of weakness coming to this chart. You can see we got a series of lower highs and also lower lows. Tron is also trading below that 200 moving average on the daily chart. Harmony, this is a bright spot in the altcoin space. As you can see right now, we're still getting up above that 200 moving average on the daily as well as the hourly chart. So that's a very nice sign. We want to continue to exhibit these strengths, these higher highs and higher lows. Now I'm going to do right here, I'm going to recalculate some of these calculations. I had a pivot high here previously on the 13th, but right now it's gotten up above. Right now all I have to do is redrag some of these calculations to the new recent pivot high. That's how we go from decision to decision. Just following through on our trading plan every step of the way. Okay, so right now I'm looking for a pullback. I'm still looking for a pullback with Harmony. If you're looking at this chart, we don't want to be chasing these new recent highs. We want to wait for the next pullback into that cluster of symmetry support, also Fib retracements. That'll be around 30 cents and some change. And from here, I'm looking for an entry to go long. Give me a trigger to go long on the 15-minute time frame. H-bar. So trading below that 200 on the daily chart. So for this one, you can look for potential symmetry resistance against the zone. I like these type of chart patterns to the short side because we are exhibiting weakness, and from here you want to make sure you have a three-price relationship. Alright, Oasis Network. This is another bright spot in the altcoin space. So a couple of days ago, I also made a review with this chart. On this chart, I was looking for a pullback to that 39 cents, 40 cent area. Now as you can see, we did achieve a new recent high. So we can't be using this area anymore. What we want to do is just redrag these calculations to the new recent pivot high, because it started to pull back from that area. So it's important for us is to follow through on the trading plan and be patient, right? So from here, I'm also going to make sure I have the calculations set for my retracements. Right here, where we have two price relationships in addition to a Fib retracement right around 45 cents. From here, looking for a pullback into this cluster. And from here, I'm looking for a trigger on the 15-minute time frame. So price must come back in here first, and this area of support must hold before I commit to more of my capital to this idea. So a lot of things must take place before I just jump in. I'm looking for that pullback simply because this is a pullback that has been demonstrated itself over and over on this chart. I'm talking about the dollar amount pullback from that pivot high to pivot low. It's a specific dollar amount. And that's what symmetry support is all about. Another way I can look at this simply if I clone. Okay, if I don't clone that. If I clone one of these guys, that'll be from that pivot high to pivot low. This is just a trend line. All I'm doing with symmetry support, I'm taking this line and I'm dragging to this new recent pivot high. Okay, so this is measuring the dollar amount. I'm dragging this potential trend line. I'm looking to see if this chart is going to repeat the same pattern, the dollar amount pullback that it experienced over here, and also over here. These three pullbacks are very similar to one another, and that's why I look for to see if this dollar amount pullback can show up again. Now I'm not looking at the time that it took from that pivot high to pivot low, I'm looking at the dollar amount pullback, specifically the X. This would be the Y-axis, excuse me, not the X-axis. The Y-axis always deals with the dollar amount pullback. This X-axis deals with the time. Just want to check. Anybody jumping in to my live? And this is how I identify setups day in and day out, making these videos. Okay, Solana. Taking a quick look at this chart. Price is currently being held up by that 200 moving average on the daily chart. Now if we jump down to an hourly chart, we can see that right now, price is trading below that 200 moving average. So I like to just shy away from charts like this only because I want to find charts that are exhibiting real strength, such as Oasis Network and also Harmony, getting up above that 200 moving average on both the daily and hourly charts. When you have that inconsistency, and this guy's been established a series of lower highs and lower lows, right? So if you were to draw a couple of trend lines, right now we're in this downwards channel. Is it going to break above all this mess? It could, right? But it's not showing me that just yet. Avalanche. Taking a quick look at this. So last week I also talked about this chart. We had a three-price relationship, had a pocket of potential support right around $76 to $80. Now I was telling my viewers, if you wanted to add more to your position, you want to make sure that price is getting up above that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. So that's to say, if you got in, you bought some more Avalanche, you wanted to go more into your position, you can do that. But whatever you do, you still have to set your stop. You still got to have a stop loss in place right below this pivot low. Just in case it goes against you, take your stop and move on to another chart. Alright, Matic. This one I wasn't able to find a three-price relationship very easily with this one. I was trying to look for a three-price here. I wasn't able to. And the way that I do it, I started clicking from these pivot high, pivot low, pivot high, right? So if I were to take a look at this price action over here, we had a pullback over here. This pullback is stronger than this one over here. Now that I heard to use this pullback right here, this pivot high, pivot low, right? So this pullback is also stronger than this one and this one. So over here, I can do it again. Pivot high, pivot low, pivot high. Once again, these three pullbacks are weaker than this one that is just experienced right here. So there may be more downside correction with this one, even though right now the chart looks fine, series of higher highs and higher lows. But we still got to just take a step back and see, okay, what are we really seeing? Is that symmetry support holding from cycle to cycle? And currently it is not. We got link chain link on the daily chart over here. It's been held up by that 200 moving average. And just got to monitor this one day at a time. Also went through Polkadot. I want to go through that chart. I want to see what it looks like. Top chat. Is there anybody in this room? I don't really know how to work this. This is my second stream. I thought I would see people in here. And if you're in the chat box, just let me know if you guys are here. And we can get a conversation going, because I can go through some charts for you guys and talk about things, kind of work through different things. But I wanted to go through Polkadot because I went through it a couple of days ago. That thing was trading below the 200 moving average on the daily chart, if I remember correctly. And I was wondering if I was going to see more follow through to the downside. Too many symbols. Alright, let's just go through here. From here, Polkadot, right here, we definitely pull back a little bit more. but I don't have my analysis on here because, all right, you see right here, we got a series of lower highs and lower lows. From here, I did an analysis with this, and I had a 3-price relationship right against that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. So let's go to my YouTube channel. Top chat. Okay, so you guys can look through this video right here, how I went about setting this guy up and looking for that 3-price relation. I was wondering if I play this, can you guys actually hear? So over here, I was setting it up. So that was the first price relationship. Did some fit polls. So right now it's still exhibiting weakness, right? So this is the other thing that could do. You could bust up above that 200 moving average, which it did not do. And right now, which is still looking for more downside correction if you're shorting something like this. All right, let's take a quick look. I'm going to just say hello. All right, what else we want to go through? All right, Luna. Take a quick look at this chart right here. This is still a nice series of higher highs and higher lows. On the hourly chart, we're also trading nicely above that 200 moving average on the hourly chart, right? So I'm looking for pullbacks with charts like this and to the long side. Right now, there just isn't a lot of consistency with these pullbacks. You got a steep pullback over here, a shallow pullback over here, even shallower pullback over here. And I like to find patterns on a chart that repeat itself beautifully again and again. For example, over here, let's go through this once more. It's important for us to see why there's some charts are better than others when you're identifying patterns. Now, this is not going to be exact. So if you use this tool right here, this is the info line, right? So if I were to do this pivot high to pivot low, right here, this is about a 15-cent pullback. All right, so remember that. Over here, I can do another pullback right here. Pivot high to pivot low, this is a 16-cent pullback. Over here, I'm going to do another pull. Pivot high to pivot low, this is another 16-cent pullback. That's what I like to see. Now, not all charts are going to work out this beautifully. So there's a reason why it's important for us to be very vigilant. And this is a lot of work. To produce one of these videos, you're going to have to go through a lot of different charts. And you have to be about it the same way every single time. Algorand. All right, over here, what do we have? Price trading below that 200 moving average. Don't like it. Over here, I've been seeing a lot of ads with this, guys. So this is CRO. This is crypto.com, okay? And they also have a stadium. Now, when you don't have a lot of data like this, what you gotta do is take a quick look on the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, it's also trading below that 200 moving average on the hourly chart. The reason why you don't see the 200 moving average on the daily, because you don't have 200 days of data. LRC, this one has also been pulling back considerably as well. Okay, Decentraland, this area right here is holding, but also on the hourly chart, what's it doing right here? Also getting up above, all right? Something you may consider if it hits your criteria when it. What else we have over here? We got Shiba. Shiba's just been selling off. Now we're going to look for some strength, potential strength into this chart, but it first got to recapture that 200. It recaptured momentarily, pulled back, start to use that 200 moving average support. Right now, it is still trading below that 200. So there's more weakness coming through this chart, right? Over here, flow key, also trading below that 1 hour 200 moving average. BTT, not a whole lot going on. Over here, spell token had that single symmetry support from here. On the hourly, it was getting up above that 200, right now still trading below. So that's how we go through these charts, day in and day out. We want to be identifying the three price relationship. We're going to find the best looking charts, charts that have consistent pullbacks, right? So right now, I'm looking to make a video with Harmony and also Rose. Okay, so jumping back out on the daily chart with Rose, the game plan would be waiting for that pullback right around 45 cents. And that 45-cent area must hold, because there are a couple of things that this chart can do, right? Price can pull back to my planned symmetry support, hold, gives me a trigger on the 15-minute time frame. That means that 8 moving average crossing against that 34 to the upside. That gives me a long entry. Now what can happen is that Rose could also break below here, break through my planned symmetry support. And if that happens, there's nothing for me to do. Move on to another chart. What else can Rose do? Rose can go sideways. If that happens, nothing for me to do. Rose can do to the upside, right? If that happens, nothing for me to do. Nothing for me to do. If it reaches all, get up to 70 cents, 80 cents, just shoots up real quick, nothing for me to do. There's only something to do on this chart if it has all my criteria checked off, which is I have a planned potential support from here. I'm looking for a pullback. Why is this pullback important? It's important for me because I like to see if it can demonstrate this pattern of pullback in dollar amount over and over on the chart. From here, is it going to hold the potential area support and gives me a trigger to go long on the 15-minute time frame? And that's how we go from decision to decision, day in and day out. So today's live stream, that will conclude today's live stream. Thank you for joining. If any questions, just leave a comment and I will get to it. And talk to you soon.